I know a lot of you guys want me to get into this Aretha Franklin story. We might get into it later this afternoon. I'm kind of going back and forth on it because the entire thing appears to be a hoax. Seems to be a lot of outrage over something that was tweeted from a parody account. So I'm not sure yet if it's worth dedicating an entire video to the story, but we'll see. We'll see. But I just wanted to give you guys an update. I figured it was easier to tell everybody at once instead of having to reply to a dozen or so emails and direct messages. But okay, let's get into this. I don't know if there is a more entitled group in this country than the bearded beauties who cohabitate in the 12 WNBA dumps. These beauties, they seem to misunderstand the difference between a right and a privilege. Rights are something that can never be taken away from you. I have the right to make a living, but it is a privilege to make that living here on YouTube. Rights are given. Privileges have to be earned. That's the key word, earned. Seems more and more people have this sense of entitlement where they don't have to earn their privileges like the rest of us. They're different. They're special. What is so special about being a WNBA dump diver? I know they have the different part covered. They're damn sure different. Down here in the South, the industry of collecting trash is dominated by men. I know of at least 12 cities across America where it's dominated by women. The upcoming return of Bob Griner to the land of the rising rainbow was met with excitement and joy. I'm so excited for the BG to come home. I cannot wait to watch her fan the crowd with all those air balls. The return of Brittney Griner was used to demonize their political opposition. People who opposed the prisoner swap where bumbling Biden sent his pal Vlad a Rolex in exchange for a rainbowed candy bracelet. The people who opposed the swap, they were called homophobic. They were labeled mythical misogynist. People would not oppose this trade if a male athlete was confined in Russia. That's partially true. I don't think the opposition would have been as strong if someone like LeBron James or Serena Williams or some legendary singer like Mariah Carey were in the same situation, but it had nothing to do with gender or sexual orientation. It had everything to do with value. The return of Bob Griner, it is now being used again by the dump divers in an attempt to gain a privilege they haven't earned. It's the same privilege they've been whining and complaining about for the last 2 or 3 years. When a dump is short-handed and they have to pull a trash engineer from one location to another, the WNBA flies the engineer commercially. They give them a nice aisle seat and coach, just like everyone else. Now, airlines, they will do their best to accommodate other customers by not seating them next to the DDs for obvious reasons. Collecting trash is a filthy job. The smell tends to linger around. You don't want to be on a multi-hour flight sitting next to the stench. With the return of Bob Griner, WNBA players are once again demanding that the league pay for chartered flights throughout the season. They are using a common shitfuck tactic by cloaking their demands in disguise. Bob can't travel commercially. He's a superstar. It's unsafe. Someone who opposed the prisoner swap could approach Bob in the airport and attempt to shave his beard. This puts the team at a severe disadvantage in overtime when the amount of facial hair determines the winner. Now, to her credit, I haven't seen anything released publicly where Brittney Griner herself is pushing for private air travel. All kidding aside, though, I can kind of understand why she would want to travel privately. If I were in her situation and all the attention that she's received, I'd want the same thing. But this creates a huge problem for Cathy Engelbert in the WNBA front office. You can't allow Brittney Griner to travel privately while the rest of the league flies commercial. Well, KC, what if she pays to fly privately herself? I'm not sure the league could stop her from doing that, but that scenario will never enter the equation because Bob can't afford it. Chartered flights cost anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 per hour. Bob Griner makes about $220,000 a year. You do the math. Now, she's not the only one who can't afford it. The WNBA can't afford it either. The problem is, the players just don't seem to realize it. They also don't seem to realize they put themselves in this situation. Dump divers are quick to point the blame at Cathy Engelbert for having to fly commercial to games, but the blame for this situation falls solely on the players. 3 or 4 years ago, when they were negotiating the collective bargaining agreement, the players were given a choice. You can have chartered flights with lower salaries, or you can have higher salaries with commercial airfare. The players chose the latter. Here we are years later, and they won't stop complaining. They won't stop blaming everyone else for the situation they put themselves in. One diver told USA Today, "It shouldn't be one or the other. We should be allowed to fly privately and collect six-figure salaries that we haven't earned." Unbelievable. It is absolutely unbelievable. Poor Cathy Engelbert. She is doing everything she can to make sure the wish of millions of Americans never comes to fruition. The WNBA ceases to exist. And here you have the collectors of woke welfare, the beneficiaries, who would be collecting government welfare if the WNBA folded, pushing her to spend $20 million that they don't have. Players and their agents, they are accusing Cathy Engelbert of neglecting player safety. "These women are superstars! No one plays pretend basketball like the identifiers in the WNBA. They deserve to be pampered and treated like royalty." First of all, let's be real here for a second. Outside of Bob Griner, how many times do you think a WNBA player gets recognized by someone in the airport or by someone in public? I could show you guys random pictures of random WNBA players. I'd be willing to bet you would not be able to identify one of them. Number two, and this is good news because I had the solution to the problem. Since the divers are so afraid of the general public, since they don't want to be faced with the highly unlikely situation of being asked for an autograph, let them travel by bus. Put them on the cheese wagon. If they're demanding luxury, upgrade to the Greyhound. Not only would that save hundreds of thousands of dollars on air travel, the WNBA, they could actually monetize these road trips. They could collect the trash from homes and businesses along the way to games. Now, USA Today tried to advocate for private flights by pointing to a couple of instances where commercial travel impacted the WNBA schedule. Last year during the playoffs, the Connecticut Suns, who were formerly Daughters, they missed their practice session before Game 3 due to a delayed flight. This had a severe impact on the quality of the product on the court. Have you ever seen a WNBA game? 99% of the time, it looks like these women are touching a basketball for the first time. I don't think one missed practice had any impact on the number of airballed free throws that fans paid money to see. During the regular season last year, the LA Sparkles, they were forced to sleep in the airport because their flight was delayed a full 24 hours. These ladies will complain about anything. I thought they would be happy about it. I've been through a lot of airports in my life. The accommodations in major airports, they are a hell of a lot better than the accommodations in the dump. Now, to her credit, and I don't know why she is working so hard to appease the unappeasable, but to her credit, Cathy Engelbert has been trying to get chartered flights for her pretend basketball players for a while now. She said something to USA Today that should tell you all you need to know about the WNBA. The mainstream media, all these woke corporations, they put on this public persona that they're 100% supportive of pretend basketball. We want to see these women be paid their fair share. They deserve millions of dollars for the comedic relief they provide. Talking is easy. It's easy to talk a supportive narrative. But when it comes to the shit fucks, I like to follow the money. Cathy Engelbert told USA Today, it is impossible for the WNBA to get chartered flights without the help of their sponsors. You know, the sponsors, the woke corporations who claim to be all about girl power and female empowerment. In the last 12 months, numerous corporations have reached out to Cathy Engelbert looking to help out. But it's strange. Once they figured out the cost for chartered flights, which is $20 million a season, the diva of all dump divas said, I never hear from them again. I never hear from them again. I wonder why. Let me translate that for you. We support the WNBA publicly, but this league is not worth our money. You know why it's not worth the money? When companies sponsor you, they're looking for a return on their investment. They're looking to get their product noticed by your audience. These woke corporations know the WNBA doesn't have an audience. They'll never see a return. They'll never see that money again. That $20 million, it might as well be a fart in the wind. It's gone. Now, towards the end of this article in USA Today, they proved why this publication is nothing but filth. USA Today criticized normal people who opposed the exchange of Bob Griner. The article said, high-profile exchanges like Bob Griner often involve a member of the military. I don't understand why normal people are so upset about this. It is not unusual to trade a convicted arms dealer for a leader of the alphabet. They compared Brittney Griner to John McCain and Bo Bergdahl. There is a huge difference between those two men and Bobby. They were both prisoners of war. They were both captured while defending our freedom. Bob Griner was captured for breaking the law. Bob Griner was going to Russia to make $1 million. Bo Bergdahl, he was fighting the Taliban, risking his life to protect yours. Huge, huge difference. I say this all the time. Sympathy can only take you so far. At some point, WNBA players have to earn the privileges that they're demanding. Airlines are not going to cover the cost for private travel because you have this delusion that you're some type of superstar. At some point, it's up to you to perform. It's up to you to generate revenue. It's time to stop coddling these women. Stop treating them like they're victims. You either put up or you shut the fuck up. The free ride is over. The sympathy well is dry. If you want chartered flights, go out and make it happen. Quit begging everyone else to subsidize your luxury. But give me your thoughts. WNBA players trying to use Brittney Griner to get chartered flights throughout the league. Is it just me, or does it seem like these entitled players are always looking for a handout, a sympathy handout? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.